to Cheap Pops. I am Nick.
I'm Dave. That's it?
Oh,
That's
sorry.
it? Oh,
That's
Dave,
what I wanted.
Dave, see, I give you the ball to start, and already you forget to silence your phone.
Oh!
Well, we were going to record on Halloween and have the Halloween episode out, but I didn't feel well, so we're doing Halloween still a week after Halloween. Deal with it.
I told him not to eat the candy, folks. I told him not to eat his whole thing of candy.
Listen, I'm a fat man. It's Halloween. I'm going to eat candy. You're just going to have to deal with it.
Well, you should have fucking shared it, god damn it.
Jason, we can't even get through the 5 minutes of the episode and already you're swearing. Thanks a lot.
Oops.
Yeah, oops, yeah. We were doing so good and now you had to ruin it.
Oh!
Alright, so do you want to talk about what you brought with you since, you wanted to start it off badly?
I am a bad man. Yes, I am.
Sure.
I brought Hulk Hogan from 93, Hulk Hogan 94. Macho Man Randy Savage, the Madness NWO version. Jason, Part 6, Part 7, Zombie Undertaker. Jason, Part 4, Friday the 13th.
Well, I didn't mean just what was on the table.
And Zombie Nakamura, which you already have.
Yeah.
I think this is cool because he almost looks like Michael Jackson, the Thriller.
Yeah, that's what they were going for, yeah.
Zombie Dean Ambrose.
I wasn't really that impressed with that one. But
This one was kind of a Christmas gift.
yeah.
But I can't complain. I wish that they would have went longer with the zombie line.
I'm surprised they didn't. But
I wish the one zombie that would have made it, Hulk Hogan. I know there's a prototype, but the only reason why they did not continue the line with Hulk Hogan as a zombie because of the whole scandal.
yeah.
And I'm not going to get into that. I want to thank you for this.
Well, I mean, you paid for it. I just grabbed it.
NWO Hulk Hogan. The Hollywood Hulk Hogan. The WWF version.
That's cool. Yeah. I saw that. I knew you'd like it.
I'm more than just like it. I love it. Then, before I get into the more of the action figures, script. Friday the 13th, Part 3, Jason Hockey Mask. And It baseball cap. Thank you. I will be wearing that. And my Friday the 13th.
I'm surprised you're not wearing this.
Oh, don't worry. I might put it on sometime later on in the episode. Friday the 13th hockey jersey.
Yeah, that's really cool. See, I'm not big into the horror movies. He is. I'm not. Like, he had me watch a horrible movie. Horrible.
I know it was horrible.
Winnie the Pooh, Blood. No, that movie was horrible. Horrible. Why did you suggest that movie? That movie was bad.
I thought it was going to be good until I'm like, this sucks. But still, let's review it. I just wanted us to have a horror film to review.
Well, pick one that's going to be good. Like, good Lord, that was...
I should have... Well, we're going to have a good one to review. Well, I'm going to review it. You didn't watch it.
No, because I'm not into horror movies, and I don't like to punish myself in my own home, all right?
Friday the 13th, Part 2, Jason action figure.
Yeah, NECA does a good job on
Yes, they do.
They really do.
Oh, I'm not too crazy about the prices, but man, they do a good job on their action figures.
Don't let him fool you. He loves spending money. Don't let him fool you.
I'm not too big on this Friday the 13th, the final cut, but that's actually pretty cool. The action figure of that. I'll make sure to take pictures and send them to you so you can actually post them.
Okay.
And last but not least, Friday the 13th, Part 3, Jason.
He comes with a huge box every show, just a huge box of stuff. He's moving in every time.
And not only did I bring that, but one of my pride and joys from my personal collection of my favorite wrestler, Kane. Zombie Kane.
Yeah, I don't think I have that one, actually.
That was hard to find.
Yeah.
That was very hard to find, that Kane. And when I found it, it was like $7 when Kmart was still in business.
Nice.
And I'm like, screw it, I'm getting it. And I found this right at the same time I found that. And they had 2 of these left.
Yeah.
So I had to snag one up for you.
Yep. I remember the Nakamura one you got.
Then, this I actually got from a Halloween display from Walmart.
Yeah. Sometimes they'll let you have them.
Yep.
Like Target.
Right? It's true.
Yeah.
I'm still mad about it.
They told him that they would not sell him a WWE display. He wasn't asking to sell it. He's asking to take it home. And I work at Walmart, and I take displays home because they're just going to crush them. They crush them, and they sell the cardboard. So,
exactly.
You know, don't lie to me in my face. Just say it's store policy to not give you stuff.
Right.
That's easier than lying to me. You know,
exactly.
But whatever. So, what did you think of Crown Jewel?
I'm kind of over... Can I go straight into the main event talking about that?
Yes, I'm going to go through the whole thing, but yes, you can talk about that.
I'm sick of seeing the same damn thing. Like how Roman Reigns put it, it's like missionary that over and over and over with the bloodline running in, interfering. Ugh. Can you just do it by yourself without the bloodline? Yay, they were there, yay! Do it by yourself. God, I'm sick of it.
That's it? That's all you got?
It's missionary over and over and over and over and over. I'm sick of the same old over and over and over. I just want to change.
Alright.
They should have put over LA Knight, but like you said, it's Saudi Arabia. You knew it was going to happen.
They're going to wait till WrestleMania. They're not going to do it. He's
Me-
going to win the Royal Rumble, and then they'll do something at WrestleMania.
But you know, I had to take a shot in the dirt and with the pick, and I
Right. I thought it was an 8 out of 10 pay-per-view. I thought most of the matches were really good. The main event, I think it was a good Roman Reigns match, given that LA Knight actually made him wrestle. It wasn't just the suplexes and Superman punches that he normally does with Brock Lesnar.
Right.
You know, so I think LA Knight looked good. And, yeah, I knew the Bloodline was going to get involved and all that stuff because that's what they do. But it gave LA Knight a gripe to say, you know, well, it took all of them to beat me. You know, he couldn't do it on his own, so at least they did that.
Right.
You know? At the beginning, I thought it was a great video package leading into Rollins and McIntyre. I really don't care about Drew McIntyre, but I think they had a really good match. For some reason, the Saudi Arabia crowd was really hot for Drew McIntyre. They were chanting for him for the whole match. I thought it was well-paced. It took Rollins 2 stomps and kicking out of the Claymore to win.
Nice.
So, did you even watch it?
Skim through it.
Oh. Why do I watch him and you don't watch him? What the hell?
I was kind of in a hurry that day.
All right, and Damian Priest went to cash in the Money in the Bank, but Sami Zayn stopped him by ramming him into the ring post and stealing the case. And then they did like a backstage thing with Rhea Ripley, and she looked amazing, even with like her full body covered. Somebody on Twitter made a comment that she'd make a good Catwoman, and I think that's a really good. I think that's a really good idea with the black hair and all. Yeah. I'm not liking Byron Saxton as a ring announcer.
I did not like that.
He sounded like he had laryngitis. Like I don't know. It just
John laryngitis, anyone?
It sounded bad. I did watch the 5-way women's match, not like intently. But Nia Jax, Rhea Ripley, Zoe Stark, Shayna Baszler, and Raquel Rodriguez.
I love what you said that.
Holy Fupa Batman. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm a big dude, but Nia Jax just does not look good in a full bodysuit. But it was a spot fest. It was all choreographed stuff. You know, you could tell that they set up the entire match in the beginning. Rhea Ripley is really good at selling. She's got really good facials. I'm glad she's still champion. I think they need to keep her champion a long time. I'm glad they never had Charlotte Flair just beat her, since she's become this good. So she did a riptide off the, I think it was the second rope onto the whole pile of women to retain the title. I thought it was all right. Solo Sikoa against John Cena.
Baby Umaga.
Baby Umaga. Cena, just shave your head.
Please.
For the love of God, just do the Baron Corbin and shave your head.
Speaking of John Cena, I'm loving what you have behind the hard cam.
Oh yeah, I don't remember when I got that poster. It's a poster from Australia of a Raw Survivor Series show house tour, Survivor Series tour house show.
Nice. That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't remember when. I'll take a picture of it and I'll post it. I really don't remember when I got it. I'm sure I got it off of eBay, and that was back when John Cena was actually he had just won the WWE title and he was still kind of popular and I kind of liked him still. But
should we talk about what we're watching behind the hard cam real quick?
We have Halloween Havoc 1991 playing with the Chamber of Horrors match. Abdullah the Butcher just got electrocuted in the electric chair. Yeah. It's not a really good Halloween Havoc. Since we're doing a Halloween episode, he picked a couple Halloween Havocs to talk about.
We're going to be talking about good ones. I just chose just one.
You wanted a bad one, so...
Yeah, to watch.
Alright, they're calling him the greatest of all time in his ring entrance now, John Cena.
God.
That drives me insane. And he is not the greatest of all time. He's not. Stop calling him that. You call him Big Match John. Say all his accomplishments. He is not the greatest of all time. That is ludicrous. It's ridiculous. Please stop saying it.
Ugh.
No, okay. He was attacking Solo's Samoan spike hand through the whole match. That makes sense. But he did multiple Samoan spikes onto John Cena to get the win. I'm glad Solo got the win. Cena should be putting people over at this point. They're not going to do anything with him. He's going to go back to doing movies once the actors and the writers' strike is over. So, but yeah, Cena, shave your head. For the love of God, shave your head.
Please shave it.
And somebody said they compared it to when Lesnar beat the crap out of Cena in that one SummerSlam match where all he did was suplexes and just beat the crap out of Cena. It wasn't anything like that. This was a competitive match. What do you talk... I'm a wrestling fan. I like a lot of wrestling fans. But some wrestling fans are just stupid and make really stupid comments. And they're like the Booker T of wrestling fans.
Oh, my God.
I know his opinion is going to be horrible. And I fast-forwarded through the whole Miz and Grayson Waller thing. I have no desire to see Miz ever again. Grayson Waller is horrible. A lot of these guys that they signed for NXT just need to go away. You've got a bloated roster. Send these guys back to the Indies because that's just where they need to be. Some of these guys just...
Some of them are really good. Some of them...
He's got personality, but I don't want to see it.
No.
He's got X-Pac heat. He's got go-away heat. He's got, I don't want to see you. And the crowd's not booing him. He's got the Baron Corbin effect. They're not booing him because they suck. They're booing him because they don't want to see him anymore.
Exactly.
I think the Logan Paul video they did was cool where he was driving the dune buggy and all that stuff. He's a freak of an athlete. The stuff that he can do is is crazy. He pretty much saved Rey Mysterio from breaking his neck. I mean, Mysterio did that, the springboard moonsault into the ring, kind of like a Lionsault, and then he was going to spike himself on his head, and Logan Paul dropped to his knees and caught him. And somebody was saying, oh, well, you know, Logan Paul was out of position. Bull crap. Rey Mysterio just did not time that right.
No.
And Logan Paul saved him from breaking his neck. I'm sorry.
I do have a meme video to send you of that where at the end he goes, everybody gets one.
Yeah.
And he's just like, it's Spider-Man but with Logan Paul's head.
Right. If a lot of people didn't notice, but Santos Escobar actually kind of passed the knucks to Logan Paul. He didn't really pass him, but he left him on the ring apron where Logan Paul could grab him, so Escobar is going to be turning heel.
Oh, yeah.
But Logan Paul's U.S. champ. I don't know if this is going to be, he's going to be on TV more, which I'm okay with that. He's a good heel. You know, he's not like one of these celebrities that they bring in that doesn't know what they're doing. He really is a good athlete, so...
I would love... We said it once before. Logan Paul versus Pat McAfee.
That would be amazing. That would be really, really
Triple threat match. Throw in Bad Bunny in with it.
That would actually be really, really cool. That would get social media going crazy.
Yes.
Oh my God. PN News and Big Josh. Oh my God. You want to talk about crap tag teams right there. Well, but Logan Paul used brass knucks on Rey Mysterio to win the U.S. title. It was alright.
I think this is when Mark was still in WCW.
Oh yeah, The Undertaker?
Yep.
No. Not 91. He was already about to win the world title.
Yes. He already left. Yeah.
Listen, you're talking to somebody that grew up in that time. You weren't even born yet. Don't be talking to me about what happened in 91. The next match, Bianca Belair against Io Sky for the women's title. Kairi Sane came back, and her and Bayley helped Io retain the title. It was alright. I mean, Bianca Belair is still coming out skipping and all that stuff, even though, like, Io Sky, you know, beat her up. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Cody Rhodes against Damian Priest. The Judgment Day and Jey Uso all got involved. Cody knows how to pace a match. Damian Priest is good. You know, he's had a lot of time. He spent a lot of time in Ring of Honor. He knows what he's doing. Took Cody Rhodes 3 crossroads to get the win. So that's pretty cool.
I'm glad that they're pushing Damian Priest more.
I am too. I mean, he is the kind of guy that Vince likes, and he's the kind of guy that Triple H likes. A really tall dude, but that's really athletic and has a lot of charisma. He makes me think of what Test could have been if Test actually had charisma. He's a big dude that, you know, is athletic, but just he had no charisma. The only time he actually mattered was when he had Stacy Keibler.
Yes.
You know, and the stuff with Stephanie, you know. But
he was such a great heel when he was with Stacy.
Yeah, that was good stuff. But then you had him with Scott Steiner, and Steiner couldn't really do much at that point. So
and he was suffering from drop foot.
Yeah. But the match you already talked about, LA Knight against Roman Reigns, I thought it was a good match. A little, like I said, a little different than most Roman matches. LA Knight is so impressive and so over. I mean, even the Saudi Arabia crowd loved him, and it's a little hard to tell the pop in a building like that, because when his music hit, the crowd went nuts. But those stadiums like they have over there, the sound just went completely up instead of, you know, being that loud like it would in a normal arena. Because there had to be, 70,000?
Yeah.
So it's a huge building, so you're going to lose some of the sound. Like you said, the bloodline interfered. LA Knight kicked out of a spear, which is really good for him. He actually kicked out of it. That you know, and didn't he he speared him through the? Did he spear him through the barricade too? So you know that. But he put Jimmy Uso through a table. He couldn't kick out of 2 spears, and Roman retains. I think it was an 8 out of 10 pay-per-view for what it was. I mean, for what they've done lately. Did you see what's going to happen at Survivor Series?
Yes, I saw it this morning where they're going to have the Bloodline and mixed in with a little bit with the Judgment Day, I think.
No.
Or
It's going to be Judgment Day against Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, and two other people. Or one other person, I can't remember. But, yeah, I mean, they're going to do War Games. I'm hoping now that Vince doesn't have creative, they'll have a top on the War Games this time. Because I think Triple H would have done it, but Vince, said no. I liked Adam Pearce announcing War Games. I like the way William Regal does it, but I thought Adam Pearce did a good job at it too. I think that'll be really good. I like the War Games. It's a great concept, and I think it'll be good. I don't know what else they're going to do for Survivor Series this year because a lot of the main people are in it, and I don't see Roman Reigns wrestling on it. No. So hopefully LA Knight will do something good. 52 defenses. Yeah. I mean, and like you said, I posted that thing where he's defended it 20-something times, and Hogan did it, 400 times in the same amount of time. Mm-hmm. I get that the business was different back then, and, Roman Reigns has got a different contract, but it does put it in perspective, I mean, I think, and you could say the same thing about Lesnar. Lesnar didn't, but, did you happen to catch any of the MJF against Kenny Omega from Collision?
A little bit of it, and I'm like, I want to see this full match.
Yeah, I think it's a match of the year candidate. I thought it was really, really good. Kenny Omega has kind of slowed down a little bit, but it didn't stop it. And then MJF is having different type matches now. He's interjecting a little bit of comedy into it too. So
Speaking of somebody who's red hot, right there, MJF.
Yeah, he's doing really well. I hope he doesn't go to WWE. I hope he stays in AEW.
Right. Dream opponent for MJF, LA Knight.
That would be good. The promos going back and forth would be really, really good. I think MJF and I think MJF and Josh Alexander from Impact would do really well.
Yes.
Not promo-wise, but match-wise.
Do you still got the Macho Man action figure I got you? With the star tights?
Somewhere, yeah.
Because I might have a little shirt that came with this one for you.
Okay, that came out of the blue. All right. Another thing I wanted to mention... November 18th, coming up real soon, in a couple weeks.
Yep.
We will be doing a table in Massachusetts, Pittsfield, Massachusetts for XWA. We're going to be giving out stuff. We're going to have our free trading cards and stuff like that. Mikey Cheese is wrestling in the main event. Cheese! You know how much we like Mikey Cheese. And earlier that day, we're going to be going to Heroes Hideout and meeting Judith Hogue, who played April O'Neil in the first Ninja Turtles movie. For me, that is badass. I've wanted to meet her for a long, long time. I've shown it before on the show because we talked about meeting Brian Tochi. I have the poster of the first movie signed by Brian Tochi. I'm going to get Judith Hogue to sign it. That's going to be a long day because I have to work the night before, but it's going to be a good day. We're going to have fun. So make the trip to Pittsfield, Massachusetts. I should have written down the exact address of the building. Yeah. But you can go on Facebook, look up XWA Wrestling. It's a logo with skull and crossbones. You'll get all the information there. Mikey Cheese in the main event. He's going to be selling merchandise. Their shows are really good. I don't know if it's going to be longer than the last one, but we'll be there early. We're going to be, having fun, talking about our show. We'll have our a tablet, showing the show like we did at the other convention. We are going to be doing another convention in March 23rd, I think it is. Something like that. Yeah, we'll talk about it more,
And I double checked, and I do believe I have that day off.
The Wrestling Classic 4. They've announced Barry Windham and Eric Bischoff. I'm really excited about having Eric Bischoff there. That's going to be really cool. I can finally have him sign the Nitro Grill menu that I have. So, which Halloween Havoc do you want to start with first?
Which ones did I pick? 90.
You're killing me. 95 and 92.
Yes. No, you picked 92. I picked 95. That's
okay. Well, whatever.
Let's start with yours. How's that sound?
All right. Halloween Havoc 92. Bruno Sammartino being there with Tony Schiavone.
That was rare.
That was funny to me because this is right at the point where Bruno Sammartino is killing the WWF for steroids, but you've got Luger was in WWF then, but Rick Rude was clearly on steroids. Clearly. So I'm sorry, Bruno, you're gone, but you didn't really stand on your principles as much as you said, because all you needed to do was look at Rick Rude and see that he was clearly on steroids. Come on now. It was about money. That's all there is to it. It was about money. But I thought it was a good Halloween Havoc. Well, some of it was.
Yeah.
The first match, Arn Anderson, Bobby Eaton, and Michael Hayes. That's an interesting six-man tag team. Against the Z-Man, Johnny Gunn. If you don't know who Johnny Gunn is, Tom Brandi. He was the Patriot at one point. My favorite, Salvatore Sincere. I thought that was a great gimmick, And Shane Douglas. That's a weird six-man too, but,
right.
So it's 92. What do you 92 WCW. The crowd loved the heels. This was in Philadelphia. The crowd loved the heels. It's where ECW started. And speaking of that, Vladimir, the super fan, which that's up on Peacock. I do want to watch that. And the hat guy from ECW were in the front row. So of course they're going to cheer the heels. But
I thought that if you watch a lot of the old wrestling, I see a lot with Vladimir in it.
Oh, dude, he's everywhere. If it's in the Northeast, he's there.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you have the money. He must know somebody because he's always in the front row.
Or near the rampway.
Yeah, and they weren't doing pre-sales back then.
No.
So, it's either at the box office real early all the time or he knew somebody.
Right.
It was cool to see him, though. I like him better than the sign guy dude that got famous for the signs. I'd rather have the Vladimir dude than, that guy was trying to get himself over. Vladimir wasn't. So,
no.
Shane Douglas, Z-Man, and Johnny Gunn got the win. It was alright.
Taking a look back at Crown Jewel, I don't think I've seen the green shirt guy.
No, I didn't either. But that was in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
So,
If he traveled to Saudi Arabia...
Yeah.
What kind of money is he making?
I like wrestling, but I'm not going to show up to every pay-per-view of a company. Maybe if I was rich and I had the money to do it, but I'm not going to every single pay-per-view that a company puts on. I'm sorry. The next match I thought was really good. Brian Pillman against Ricky Steamboat. You can't go wrong with in his prime Brian Pillman against Ricky Steamboat. And Steamboat, it was 92. Steamboat wasn't in his prime, but he could still go.
Yes, he can.
Steamboat won, so that was good.
A good match of Ricky and Steamboat, if you want to take a look back at it, versus Stunning Steve Austin, Bash at the Beach.
Yeah, that was really good. Back when Austin could actually, take bumps and was...
Yeah.
If you go back and watch old school Stone Cold Steve Austin... when he was Stunning Steve, or even when he first started in WWF. Before he hurt his neck, that dude could go in the ring. Even before the match with Bret Hart at Survivor Series 96, you go watch his 94, 95 stuff, he was amazing in the ring.
Yes.
He doesn't get... And I get after he hurt his neck and started hurting his knees, he couldn't do a lot and he had to change his style. That makes sense. But he used to bump like crazy when he was younger. The next match, Nikita Koloff against Vader for the U.S. title. It's Vader. They're going to be hard. They're going to be hitting hard. And Nikita, was stiff anyways. So
those two beat the hell out of each other.
They really, really did. I thought it was good. Vader ended up winning, so that was cool.
I did like that match.
That was a really good match. It wasn't a bad pay-per-view, and this era of WCW was kind of hit or miss. So
yes.
Stone Cold Steve Austin and Dr. Death Steve Williams against Dustin Rhodes and Barry Windham for the tag titles.
You want to talk about a random tag team match right there.
Yeah, and this match was this match had to be over half an hour.
Oh, I know.
And they went to a time limit draw.
Yep.
It was just like, I get that these are 4 guys that can wrestle, but it was just really, really long, and I did not enjoy watching it. I was like, I'm watching this just because we're going to review about good.
Right.
Dustin Rhodes and Barry Windham retained the titles, and then they did like an interview thing. I think Shivani was interviewing Heyman and Vader and Harley Race, and then Medusa came in, and Heyman like fired Medusa, called her a whore, and she kicked him in the head and started attacking him and stuff. That wouldn't fly today, but it was still cool to see, you know.
Right.
I mean, I've met Medusa. She's you know, awesome, you know, so.
I would love to meet Paulie.
That's the thing, is he could be doing, I mean, I'm sure he's making crap loads of money doing what he's doing, but I've said this about Stone Cold Steve Austin. They could be doing Comic-Cons and be making so much money just signing autographs. It's ridiculous. I would like to meet him, though. That's, you know, anytime like I'm on TikTok and one of the videos of him doing shoot stuff comes up, anytime Heyman's talk, like the one
I love watching
like
that.
when the fan you know, yells out that he's Chris Benoit's boy, and then Heyman just tears him apart, saying, you know, you can appreciate him as a wrestler, but if he's your boy, you know. So, you know, but that was cool to see Medusa, you know, beat up Heyman and stuff. Heyman was always good, always has been good. I think this was for the NWA title, or they were calling it the International title.
Yeah.
Rick Rude against Masahiro Chono. This match sucked. Their styles were just...
They weren't gelling.
No, it was long and it was boring. I like long matches sometimes, but they've got to be good matches. It just was... Like, I don't like the Iron Man match with Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. I think it goes way too long, and it's just not my kind of match, you know.
My kind of favorite match right there of that night was Goldust and Roddy Piper. Hands down, that has to be.
Oh yeah, the Black Lot Brawls. Yeah, definitely. Rick Rude submitted to the STF, but it's a dusty finish. There was a DQ throw over the top rope, so Rick Rude ended up winning. It was just it was a mess. Their styles did not work, and that finish was horrible. This match, the Barbarian against Ron Simmons for the WCW title. I like the Barbarian, don't get me wrong, but and Cactus Jack was out with the Barbarian, and I know that was a storyline and all this stuff, but the Barbarian? It was an okay match, and Ron Simmons won with a power slam. I like Ron Simmons. He was good with the APA. He was good with the Nation of Domination. But this world title run just never did it for me. It's cool that he was the first black world champion. That's cool. He beat Vader for it. But it wasn't for me, and especially this match. Like, but the main event, spin the wheel, make the deal. Jake the Snake Roberts against Sting. A coal miner's glove match. Who even knows what a coal miner's glove... Like, I think you'd have a hard time getting Jim Cornette to explain what a coal miner's glove match is. Like, Jake doesn't do a lot, but what he does makes sense and is psychologically, you know, works. You know, Cactus Jack brought out the Cobra. That was not a Cobra. If that was a Cobra, it was a midget Cobra. Sting hit Jake with the coal miner's glove, which was pretty much just like a glove that you would use to open up a wood stove. You know, just a work glove. And Jake the Snake puts the snake on his own face. You can see he just makes the snake latch onto his own face. And, you know, it bites Jake in the face, and he's holding it there. Like, the snake does not want to stay there. He's literally holding it there. I mean, it was okay for what it was.
He made the snake kiss him.
Yeah, pretty much. And, you know, he's stumbling, you know, and stuff like as if Venom's going through him. And just, it was hokey. But it was, I can't say it was a bad match, just the premise of it being coal miner. You could have done so many other things other than coal miner's glove. But the one you selected...
The reason why I selected this because I wanted to talk about the pre-NWO look of Hulk Hogan, which was pretty cool.
I mean, don't get me wrong, there were some good spots in this pay-per-view, but this era of WCW...
well, it's really hit and miss, too.
Right. Halloween Havoc, 1995. It opens up with Johnny B. Bad against DDP for the TV title. To me, these matches, Johnny B. Bad and DDP had these matches down to a science.
Yes.
This showed what Mark Merrow could do if he had somebody that could lead him to do. He did all his crazy high-flying stuff, but DDP would slow him down as well. You know, so I thought it was good. Johnny B. Bad ended up winning the TV title. Macho Man Randy Savage beats the Zodiac with the Barbara Beefcake. He beat him in 30 seconds?
Something like that,
and the idea is that both Savage and Luger are going to wrestle singles matches, and then if each of them win, they wrestle the other one. They wrestle each other later on in the night. And if you go back, I was listening to the Tony Schiavone's podcast, and he's like, didn't we just see these guys wrestle? And you watched it. You watched it over again with the commentary. They explained it. You were on commentary. How do you not? But whatever. Kurosawa against Road Warrior Hawk. The lead up to it was Kurosawa had broken Hawk's arm, kind of like Penta, does. Yeah. Kurosawa won. I guess this was just a thing because a couple months later they were going to do, New Japan coming in and doing the World Cup. Yep. And plus Hawk wrestled in New Japan as well, so maybe he, saw something in Kurosawa and, they were making something of him. So I always thought Hawk could have been good as a single. He had the look. If he had never been with Animal, he would have been a really good, singles wrestler in my opinion. He had the charisma. It's just kind of weird to see him in the mid-90s in WCW by himself. It's just felt kind of off,
Right.
But, this match, Sabu against Mr. JL. If you don't know who JL is, it's Jerry Lynn under a mask. The Sheik is out there with a sword, and Sabu is just doing all his crazy flips. And at one point he does the moonsault to the outside, and he knocks down both JL and his uncle, the Sheik, who goes down like a sack of crap. I thought about this today when I was thinking about this. 8 months later is the Cruiserweight division. Think about what would happen if Sabu had stayed and he was around when the Cruiserweight division was around. Just picture him with Ultimo Dragon, with Psychosis, with Rey Mysterio,
Eddie Guerrero,
just him and Benoit, even him and Dean Malenko.
Yes.
I think Dean Malenko could have gotten good matches out of Sabu. Just that thought experiment of what could have been done with Sabu at that point. It blows my mind to think what he could have done. Next match, Lex Luger against Meng. This was a long match, and I like Lex Luger, but Kevin Sullivan, who was the leader of the Dungeon of Doom, went in and kicked Luger to get Meng disqualified, so then Luger won, and Luger would have to face the Macho Man. Okay, that's whatever. The next match, I love this match. This match is just classic Ric Flair. Sting and Ric Flair against Arn Anderson and Brian Pillman. Do you remember what the lead up to this was? Flair wanted a tag team partner to go up against Arn Anderson and Brian Pillman. He kept going after Sting. Sting kept saying no. And then Sting said yes and said, but if you swerve me, I'm going to leave you for dead. Then when the match comes, they say that Ric Flair got attacked by Arn Anderson and Brian Pillman earlier in the day, so Sting goes out alone against the two, and for most of the match, he's by himself against Arn Anderson and Ric Flair, or Brian Pillman. Ric Flair comes running out in, his street clothes with a bandage on his head, and all that. And he's throwing his shoes at, Arn Anderson and Brian Pillman. And, so Sting's getting beat up the whole time, and Flair's, come on, Stinger, on the apron and all that stuff. And so then he finally gets the tag, and what does Ric Flair do? Does his strut, hits the rope, and pow! Right, knocks down Sting, and they just beat the crap out of Sting. Perfect. It led to Sting against Ric Flair for the next, 4 months. Perfect. And it led to the Four Horsemen of Arn Anderson, Ric Flair, Chris Benoit, and then eventually Mongo.
Yep.
Because Pillman ended up leaving and going to the WWF, so. Good. I thought it was really good. I mean, you knew what was coming.
Oh, hell yeah.
I knew
Classic Rick.
When it took so long for Sting to get when I was a kid, I was 14, I probably didn't see it coming. But, watching it with hindsight, it's taking so long for Sting to get the tag, I know what's coming, Next, see, when you suggested this one, I was like, oh, wait, that's the Sumo Monster truck.
Yeah.
Oh. On the top of Cobo Hall, a Hulk Hogan monster truck and a giant monster truck welded together, and they're pushing each other out of a circle, and all of the axles have to go out, and there's explosive charges, and Bobby Heenan's asking stupid questions on commentary to Bob Chandler, the dude that made Bigfoot, and it's just... And Hogan pushed the Giant out of the ring, and then they both got out of their trucks, and the Giant and the Giant backs Hogan up to the ledge, and then they kind of swap positions, and Hogan hits the Giant's arms, and the Giant falls off the roof. Falls off the roof. And Hogan runs away, and, like he's going for help and all that. And then they just go right back to the pay-per-view. And Bobby Heenan, go watch this with the commentary. Yeah. Bobby Heenan just sells this like the Giant is dead, and he's just desperate to find out what happened, and it's just...
What happened up there?
Yeah, it's just, can I get a walkie-talkie? It's right across the street. It just... It's so bad. And then they go to Macho Man Randy Savage against Lex Luger, and Savage beats Luger. But then you get to the main event, and you wanted to talk... What did Hulk Hogan look like when he came out?
He looked pre-NWO Hollywood Hulk Hogan with a lightning strike going right down the side of one tights, and a red flame going up the other side.
And he had a black weight belt with Hulkster on the back.
Yes.
White. And his mustache had been shaved off because the Dungeon of Doom had shaved off his mustache. So he looked really, really weird. Jimmy Hart's dressed all in black. Because he's going against the Dungeon of Doom and all that stuff. So I got it.
So he wanted to be Dark Side Hogan.
Yeah. And then the Giant comes out. Not a scratch on him in his wrestling gear. Just fell off the roof. He must have bounced. Bumbles bounced, apparently.
He bounced in the water, people.
Yeah,
he fell on the water side, people.
Yeah, it wasn't wet, so he, dried off really good. His hair was all primped, and it was, for what it was, it was, it was the Giants' first match, so what are you going to do? I mean, Hogan's leading them, so it was a lot better than Hogan and Warrior from '98, so, but the Giant beat Hulk Hogan for the WCW title because Jimmy Hart interfered, and it was a DQ, but Jimmy Hart had Hulk Hogan's power of attorney. They explained this the next night. Jimmy Hart had Hulk Hogan's power of attorney and signed that if Hogan got DQ'd, then Giant would win the title. Well, Jimmy Hart helped Hogan get DQ'd, so, and that led to Giant getting stripped of the world title, and then it led to the World War III pay-per-view, 60 men, 3 rings, the greatest, battle royal ever, which battle royals suck in my opinion, but... And the Macho Man ended up winning the world title, which I never expected, so.
But Hogan wound up being selfish because all the spotlight was supposed to be on Macho Man winning that.
Yeah, and it's always amazed me that Hulk Hogan could get away with doing bad guy things and still being the good guy. Like, he's complaining because the Giant pulled him under the bottom rope, and all this stuff, and he didn't, But Hogan is just complaining and complaining. It's like, you're supposed to be the hero, and, you know, but, like, if you ever watch a lot of his matches from the 80s and 90s, he's poking guys in the eyes, he's doing back rakes, you know, he's chopping people in the throat. You know,
he would have been a fantastic heel back in the day.
Right, but he ended up becoming one of the greatest heels of all time, so, you know, but...
Speaking of Mark Morrow...
Yeah, the Johnny B. Bad, and this is when he was really flamboyant, and had Teddy Long with him, and...
A chunky Teddy Long, I might add.
Yeah, right? But Halloween Havoc 95, for what it was, there was some good points and a lot of bad points. We didn't even talk about what happened after the match. Do you remember what happened after the match?
Oh my god, the Yeti?
Yeah, it wasn't just the Yeti. They pretty much double penetrated.
Yes.
Hogan, all right. They were doing a double bear hug, but it looked like they were doing a lot of butt stuff to Hulk Hogan. I was saying.
Hogan got butt raped, people.
Well, I wasn't going to go that far, but it wasn't good, and but you know.
Oh man.
I don't know. There were a lot of good Halloween Havocs, and there were some really bad ones, and that was one of the bad ones.
I think one of the better ones was 97.
Yeah. Yeah, 97 was, well, other than like Jacqueline and Disco Inferno, it was a really good one. A couple things that I wanted to show. If you are my age, in your 40s, you might remember the WWF fan club back in the day. I joined it a couple of times, and these were some of the things, well, you got with it. Entrance music, cassette tapes. I'll take videos or pictures of these and post them. Now, this is, you know, before iTunes and all this stuff, you know, stuff where you can get pretty much any, or YouTube where you can get any entrance music. This had the Texas Tornado, the Legion of Doom, the Dragon, when he was, Ricky Steamboat, when he was just called the Dragon, the British Bulldog, the Nasty Boys, and the $1 Million Man. Now, granted, the same themes are on both sides of the tape, but still, you know, it was cool to get that. This one from 1991, the Big Boss Man, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Rhythm and Blues, Demolition, the Rockers, and the Bushwhackers. Now, listen to these names for these themes. Serving Hard Time, Big Boss Man, fits perfectly. What do you think Hacksaw Jim Duggan's was?
I don't even know.
The Ho Hustle. That sounds like something The Godfather should have been coming out with.
Right?
Rhythm and Blues, Hunka Hunka Hunky Love. That fit. The Demolition Days. No. Well, I think this was when it was Crush and Smash, you know, after Axe had left. I think that's what they wanted. Rockin' Rockers. Okay. And the Bushwhacker Boogie. Alright. But for the Texas Tornado, the Tornado Warning makes sense. The Legion of Doom, What a Rush. The Dragon, Dragonfire. These make more sense. British Bulldog was God Save the Queen, because that was the actual, the Nasty Boys, Nasticized. Now this one, the $1 Million Rap, not so much. But at least these make more sense than some of these do. You know.
Speaking of Rhythm and Blues.
Yes. Oh yeah. Well, I already showed the Greg Valentine one, but this I got at Target. The Honky Tonk Man. I'm going to use this to display next to a picture of me and the Honky Tonk Man from a wrestling event. This one...
I was tempted to buy this when I saw one.
Terry Funk with the ECW title. It has a branding iron. He's carrying a branding iron. And this I'm going to put with my my ECW autographed kendo stick.
Weapon?
Yeah, my weapon according to the security at World of Hurt. This, I was so glad when I found this. There was one in the case. Rick Steiner. This is badass. I don't know if I'm going to open this one or not. I'm really tempted to open it, but...
I didn't open mine. I have mine hanging.
Now this one, there was two in the case. I got one for you and one for me. Very nice, very evil, Danhausen. I think this is a great character. I don't care how long he's on AEW or what they do with him. I think it's tremendous, and I hope we get to meet him at some point.
Speaking of Danhausen and being that Halloween episode,
yes,
I love the. You ever seen Halloween 3? The terrible Halloween 3 that I see.
Probably.
Halloween time is coming. Halloween time. Him with that little thing. I think it was hilarious. Very nice. Very evil. Yeah. Very nice. Very evil.
Yeah.
Danhausen.
Yeah, he's really good. I hope we get to meet him at some point. This didn't come. Well, speaking, I want to talk more about the fan club. You would get a letter, like a newsletter, and I think it came with a fake autograph, 8x10s, where it was like lasered on. It wasn't actual autographs. But the thing that I loved and that got me to go to my first ever wrestling event, you would get a free wrestling ticket to any show. And I used it at the box office at the Glens Falls Civic Center in 1992. And this was at a point where it was a house show and where the Zamboni comes out for the hockey. If you don't know, this is where the Adirondack Red Wings started, and then there was a whole other bunch of teams, the Frostbite, the Flames, and now it's the Thunder, which is a great team, by the way. But where the Zamboni comes out, it was a short, kind of like when they do Madison Square Garden.
Yes.
And it's just that short little, entrance where they have like the...
I kind of miss them doing that when they're in Madison Square Garden.
Where I think I was third row with my dad and my cousin, and there was no guardrail. So I got some good pictures of the guys coming to the ring. I have to find them. But like Skinner wrestled and Nails wrestled. Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Hacksaw Jim Duggan's hometown, no-brainer. You bring him out to wrestle. The Nasty Boys wrestled Money Inc. The main event, though, this was right after Bret Hart had won the world title from Ric Flair. They were doing the rematches of Ric Flair and Bret Hart, and that was the main event. And that was... I got to touch the Wayne Deagle world title on Bret Hart's shoulder when he walked back after the match. Because there was no guardrail, and I was right on the aisle, so... it was. I think the Undertaker wrestled that night.
And your most favorite world title?
Yeah, the Wayne Deagle to me is the greatest world title ever. A lot of people say the big gold belt, but
my favorite, and I already own it, is the precursor to the big Wing Eagle belt, and I bought you the mini one.
Oh yeah, well the one after, not the precursor. They have one after.
Well, yeah, the one after.
Yeah, the
Attitude Era.
Yeah, they call it the Big Eagle belt. Yeah.
This one.
Yeah, that's a really cool belt too. I like that one. But to me, it'll always be the Winged Eagle.
Yours, because you grew up with that one. I grew up with that one.
Right, exactly.
Plus, I grew up with the WCW one.
Yeah, the big gold. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think the big gold is a really cool looking belt.
Yes.
It's one of the most iconic belts ever. But to me, the fact that I got the free ticket for being in the fan club, and that led me to my first wrestling event, that's
And didn't you meet Bret Hart?
I've met Bret Hart twice, as a matter of fact. So once for World of Hurt, and then once at Northeast Wrestling. I met him first in Northeast Wrestling. I met Sonny at that show as well, and I met Kevin. I think Kevin Nash was there too. Back before Sonny, became a train wreck. Yeah, I've met Bret a couple times, and
I cannot take a look back at the old Monday Night Raws when Sonny comes out, because all I can think is, oh my God, train wreck.
Yeah. This thing, I'll post a picture of this too. I don't know if I've ever showed you this.
No, you have not.
In the Coliseum videos back in the day, they used to come with some kind of it would be like a WWF ruler or a WWF keychain or, just all kinds of weird stuff. But it is a medallion for the 1991 Royal Rumble. I will post a picture of it. I've kept it all this time. It's got a little, a couple rough spots on it because it's probably brass or something like that.
It is brass.
But it has the date of, the 1991 Royal Rumble, January 1991.
And if you flip it over, that's printed the wrong way.
Right.
Which is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I like it. I think this is really cool. I have a lot of stuff like this, that I will have to show. I have a lot of stuff. And kind of like the Hulk Hogan camera that I showed on one episode.
We gotta get back to stuff that they put Hulk Hogan on.
Yeah, right, yeah. Back to, yeah. So, I just wanted to show a couple things. So, what do you like to do around, because you're a horror, movie fan, what do you like to watch around Halloween?
Oh, what? Can we talk about the one that was not made not too far around here?
Yeah, you can talk about whatever you want.
Sleepaway Camp.
Yeah.
Oh, if you take a look back, and when the paramedics turn around, right on the back, you can see Fort Edward, Hudson Falls, written right on the back.
Right, and that's only like, maybe 10 miles away from us.
Yes.
So, that's pretty cool.
And we've actually gone to that little site and saw where some of the stuff...
You have. I haven't. Don't say...
My brother and I...
Yeah, there you go.
And his wife, we went to where it was. And you can still see the resemblance of where everything still is.
Right. No, that's cool. And for me, I'm not a horror movie person, especially when they're crappy horror movies. Very crappy horror movies.
Oh, we still got to go into about that one.
Yeah.
The Pooh.
Yeah, I thought that was abysmal. It was like the masks or whatever they were supposed to be on them. Like the premise, I like the opening where they had like the animated where they were talking about the story where Christopher Robin left them and they had to fend for themselves, so they became murderous feral. I get the premise,
yeah,
but the execution was just horrible.
Starting out, I'm like, ooh, this might actually be good. Then going on, I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah, it was really, really
They
bad.
had a chance to redeem it at the end. But
if you haven't watched it, he's going to give you... Well, I don't know if you're going to give a spoiler, but...
Spoiler alert!
So how could they have redeemed it? Because I don't know what you're talking about.
Instead of having Christopher Robin's... instead of... I'm going to cry about every little thing. No, Pooh, no, Pooh. No! You should have had him grow a set of balls and just straight kill him. Just kill Winnie the Pooh. Instead of... Yes, it was badass that he ran into him with the car.
Yeah.
Then, oh look, he's gonna escape, and then you turn him back to namby-pamby, whining. Why, Pooh? Why? No, don't kill her. Oh!
Well, I've heard that they're going to do another one, and that Tigger's going to be in this one.
I heard that too.
I'll watch it if you want to watch it, just to see how bad it is.
I just want to see if it's going to be as bad.
It's going to be. You come on.
Okay, moving on from the bad stuff over to the good one. Five Nights at Freddy. It's available right now on Peacock, but yes, it's still in theaters. This was so good.
See, I didn't watch it because, I'm sorry, I don't like horror movies, and I'm not going to sit and watch a movie that I know I'm not going to like. I'm sorry, you want to review it, and I'm going to let you review it. I'm just saying, okay, there's certain ones I like Cabin in the Woods. I thought that was an amazing movie because it wasn't just a horror movie, it was a thriller as well. Yes. Movies like Critters and Tremors, to me, they are horror movies in a sense, but I can appreciate those kind of, especially Critters. I think Critters is tremendous. Yes. But then...
I love the second one. The second one, hands down the best one. But
like Friday the 13th, I can... When he goes to Manhattan and he punches the guy's head off, that I can get into and stuff. But it's just not my genre.
Part 6, you might like Part 6 if you get a chance to ever watch Part 6.
Oh, I've watched them all. I'm just
Five Nights at Freddy's. Mm-hmm. Shaggy. What is his actual name? The one that plays Shaggy.
The one that plays Shaggy. Matthew Lillard.
Yes. He did a phenomenal job in this. Spoiler alert, he plays Freddy.
Okay.
Yep, he plays the yellow rabbit in it. And this is They, for close-ups and everything, they did not do any CGI.
Yeah, I heard it was all practical effects.
Yes, I love the fact that they did that. I love it.
Yeah.
I miss the days that they used to do this with horror films. And to see it go back to that, it was like, yes!
And it doesn't cost them any more money
No.
than it would to do CGI, so, yeah. No,
and it was so good. And it looks like they might lead into a Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
Well, I mean, they've got all the games, so they've got a lot of canon that they can go to.
Oh,
so,
yes!
You know, I mean, I'm glad you liked it, and it just... You know, I wasn't trying to be a downer. It just, I'm not going to sit and watch a movie that I know I'm not going to enjoy. You know, I'm
you
just,
mean like Winnie the Pooh?
Well, but that I was actually kind of intrigued to see where they were going to go.
Right.
But I have no interest in Five Nights at Freddy's at all. So I'm just not going to watch it.
Did you say Five Guys or Five Nights?
I said Five Nights. I don't. Hey, Five Nights at Freddy's. You know, that's not a video I'd watch either. You know, so.
But it was a pretty good. It was a really good movie.
Good. I'm glad you liked it. What's going on with your video games? What are you playing?
Oh, I just completed Spider-Man 2, and it was awesome. I want to do a second playthrough of it.
I'm sure you do.
It was a lot of fun. Still my favorite suit, Sam Raimi, Spider-Man 3, the Venom suit.
Yeah.
I used that one through the whole game.
I've heard nothing but good things about this game. I definitely want to play it at some point, you know. But I'm not surprised that you completed it 100%. That doesn't surprise me.
100% and 100% with the trophies.
Right. What was the other game you were talking about that you've been playing?
RoboCop.
Yep.
That is a lot of fun. RoboCop Rogue City. If you walk through the police station and everything, it's spot on to what it is in the movie.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
I would like to see, if it's that good, I want to see a really good Judge Dredd game.
Yes.
If you're going to, you know, keep the same engine and all that stuff, I think a really good Judge Dredd game needs to happen. Yeah.
And the other one, I just taken a look back at some of the games I own for the PlayStation 4 and that I haven't even started. I started playing Mafia 3.
Yep.
Takes place in the 1960s, Louisiana. You're playing as Clay, or Clayton, however you want to say it, an African American. Where a bank job gone wrong.
Right.
Is how it starts out and everything. Somebody who you thought was your best friend. Working with the mob. He wants you to take over what Sammy's doing. Somebody who's taken you in and treated you like a son. And somebody that you thought was your best friend turns around and goes, you should have never said no, and bam, shoots him right in the head.
Nice.
And that's as far as I got so far with it. I still haven't completed it yet, but I'll let you know the rest of it.
Alright.
Like I told you, the way that they're starting this out, they should make it into a movie. Or a TV series.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I haven't played a lot of games lately, and I will when I go on vacation because I'm going to bring my Switch with me, so I got 2 plane rides.
The best part is, this game is available for the Xbox system I gave you.
Yeah.
So you can actually play it for yourself.
I am going to start gaming more, you know, that's the thing. It's just...
We just got to wipe the memory of the Xbox
and
I gave you.
I'm back to one job now, so that makes it easier too.
Yes.
Before we wrap up, because I don't really have much else to go on, November 18th, XWA, Pittsfield, Massachusetts. Check Facebook for all the info. We can't wait to do that. We love doing tables at shows and conventions. I don't know how big of a crowd. I'm hoping they have a bigger crowd. No, not throwing shade. I hope they have a bigger crowd. Also, I don't know if they're still looking for volunteer ring crew. You can just message them on Facebook and find out. Their shows are really good, in my opinion. They have a lot of gimmicks, but they're really good.
Yes.
And Mikey Cheese always brings it. He always has good merch too. He's a really good dude. I think you'll enjoy him. His gimmick is really cool. Cheese. Yeah, check him out on Instagram and Facebook. Mikey, just put in Mikey Cheese and it'll come up. We have a merchandise site, cheappops.redbubble.com.
Merchandising.
We have a website now, cheappopshow.com. It's mainly just a page to link into our social media, but we have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have Instagram, we have TikTok. All right, I'm gonna let you do what you're doing. But we have merchandise, we have T-shirts, we have stickers and phone cases, all that stuff with our logos and all that stuff. What is? I don't know what you're doing.
Oh, you'll get it.
But if you wanna know more about, I'm posting a lot more on our social media. Get it, buy it, our stuff. Okay, all right. There's something wrong with you. But just as you can see, if you've been watching us for a while, we're recording a lot more than we used to. I wish this had gone up on Halloween, but I was not feeling well at all. I was pretty much out of it, and so this isn't up on Halloween, but it is still our Halloween themed episode.
Yes,
and this has gone a lot longer than I thought it would today, actually.
Speaking of horror films,
yes,
there is a new one coming out on November 18th called Thanksgiving. I've been getting the previews about it.
Okay.
It looks interesting. I want to see it.
Well, good.
And I do want to review it.
Okay. Well, yeah, you can review whatever you want. I don't have to take control of the whole show.
Oh, I gotta ask you: are you gonna get it? You gonna buy it? You gonna get it? You gonna buy it? You gonna get it?
You're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. But follow at Cheap Pop Show for all our social media. It's on Twitter. It's on TikTok. It's on Facebook, Instagram. God, I didn't even give you something to hold up, and you still found something.
I'm terrible, people. I really am.
If you enjoy what we do, thank you for watching. If this is your first time checking us out, thank you for checking us out. Please subscribe. Check out all of our stuff. We have, I think this is episode 21.
Yep.
So, there's 20 more.
Hey, we're legal!
And we have our video game specials and our short videos of video games that we've played. We got a lot of content. We're going to be doing a lot more. Thanks for checking us out. Pop Guys out.